We are live and great to see all of you here. Give you a chance to hang out and to engage and to do all those wonderful things. And I want to edit just one more thing and see if this actually works. Oops. And I'm taking care of business all at the same time. You can tell we are crazy over here and making things happen kind of like that. And I believe I did it. I don't know. How you guys doing? This is a holiday weekend and it's Sunday, and yet I wanted to come by and say hi and talk about, well, just that is just show up. Just show up. You know, was this coming live on Sunday the the greatest thing I could possibly do? Possibly. It definitely is something that I wanted to do. I had it in my game plan to do. I said, yes, I want to be there for my peeps out there and to say hi. And yet then, of course, my life is the same as yours. We have, family and friends and people over, and we have guests in the house. And so I'm broadcasting from my home office. And so all these things are happening. And does that create the space where, oh man, I got to step away from all that and say hi to you guys? And is that what I want to do? Well, in the moment, maybe, maybe not. And isn't that so much of what happens in our life? Is that we have an idea, we have a game plan, we decide that's the best thing for us to create, and then life hits us. Life creates this magical moment of going, yep, you had a plan, and then we decide to change it. What makes the difference between the highly successful people, the people that create the most in their life, and the people who struggle? What creates the difference between the people that make it and the people that don't? What makes the difference? Over the years, we've looked at things like the IQ. You had you have your IQ and you decide, oh yeah, the smartest person in the room, that's the person that's going to make it. And that's what we used to think. Years ago, we had the IQ of which was the major test, your IQ test, to figure out how smart you were. And once we figured out how smart you were, well, then we could predict, oh man, you had a high IQ, you were going to go the distance and you were going to create success. And you had a low IQ, well, we'll help you out to just get by. And the biggest challenge is that it has nothing to do with IQ. What we found is that the people that had the highest success and the people that had the lowest success, there were a whole mix of IQ related numbers in there. The people that had the greatest success, some were intelligent according to IQ, and some not so much. And the same thing with people that weren't successful. Some were highly intelligent and some were not. And it was a complete mix, total random. Had nothing to do with success level. Your IQ has nothing to do with success level. So then we go, what is it that makes the difference? One of the key components that we've identified over the years now, decades, millennium, is that it's the people that keep going the distance, the people that never say quit, the people that continually consistent, persistent behavior of just showing up. So I look at that and go, maybe I should just show up. Elon Musk works 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes. Thank you, Mike. And for some of our comments, I may or may not be able to see them, so be aware. The chat is available. We've got Demi. Thank you very much. The books are the right way today. Here. Um, all of this is all about just showing up, which is why I'm here today. It's why on a Sunday, why during a holiday weekend, why I show up consistent, persistent on a regular basis for all of my peeps, whether you're at my high level mastermind or whether the people that I'm just meeting today for the first time or everything in between, I show up because I've learned that just showing up as who was it that said that um, great actors, many people have been attributed to it, but just showing up is 80% of the battle. Hey John, hi, right back at you. And success is 80%. What does this look like? I remember, and I didn't recognize that this made such a difference until years later. And I'm going to tell you a story about where I just show up. I remember it was years and years ago, so maybe about 13 plus years ago, and I was driving. I was driving to on a trip that was going to be about 5 to 6 hours. And so I was driving down from Connecticut down to Virginia, and I had a speaking gig. I was already a speaker, and I had a speaking gig down at a networking club, a RIA club, Real Estate Investor Association meeting down in Virginia. So it was about 6 hours, if I remember correctly, to get down there, somewhere in that range. And so we were driving, and my wife was with me, and we were driving down, and we got about 2/3 or maybe halfway. I think it was closer to halfway down on this trip when it started to snow. It started to snow, and we're like, I hadn't really looked at the weather. I just knew I had this appointment, got in the car, started going, and found out it was snowing. Oh, big challenge. So now it's snowing. Now, when you're driving and it's snowing, that's not a great scenario to be in. And so my wife and I could have pulled over, gotten a hotel, or even pulled over and went to friends. And we've got multitude of places that we could have stopped in between here and Virginia to stop and take the night and not show up to the RIA club. I could have called them, said, listen, snow, and I would have been forgiven. I mean, it was snowing out. And at first it was a trinkle and just a little bit, a dusting, if you will. And then all of a sudden it started snowing. And so now I'm driving in a little bit of a good bunch of snow. However, it was still a little bit warm out. So it really wasn't accumulating much on the ground. And especially in Virginia, who isn't used to snow at all, probably ended up being about an inch, maybe 2, maybe 2.5. So like it wasn't much, but it was just enough where most people would have canceled. Just enough where most people that I know that were going to that networking club weren't going to show up. And so I was going to end up driving all this way, driving through what was definitely slippery weather, was definitely bad weather, to get to a place where I was going to end up talking to a handful of people. And I knew that. So why did I keep going? I had a choice and I kept on moving forward. I kept on going. Why? This is really key. For me, I make a commitment. That's it. That's where the rubber meets the road. I keep going forward to meet that commitment no matter what. That's really key. Once you're in that space, you want to hold that space and keep on moving forward. Keep on staying that course. For me, that was the language in my head. That was the chit chat. Is I made a commitment to show up. If I don't show up, they've got nobody to speak that night. That doesn't help them. And do you think they would they would think highly of me. It may have nothing to do with nothing to do with me. It was the snow, it was the weather, and they would have forgiven me. Just show up. So here's what happened. I showed up. There was like 5 people in the room. I showed up and I played full out. Here's really key. You show up. It's not just showing up, definitely is 80%. Only for you to win, show up with a couple things. And here's the thing. One, absolutely show up with a passion, with focus, with energy. Show up with your purposeful intent. Show up being completely present and positive in nature. Show up in your best self. Just showing up really, really, really helps. Only show up in your best possible self. So I showed up in my best possible self. I showed up and played full out. I only had 5 people in the room. There should have been 50 people in the room. I had 5 people in the room and I just showed up. And as I just showed up, I just showed up and in just showing up, I played full out, meaning I presented every part of my presentation. I didn't leave things out. I didn't shortchange it. I did it full, and I played full out as if there was 50 people in the room, as if there was 100 people in the room. There was 5. And with 5 people in the room, I went through every slide, gave them all my energy, gave them all the information that I knew that they had come there for. They had driven through the snow. They had gone through the process. One couple ended up buying that night. 1 out of 5, which is good stats. One couple had purchased that night. And you go, okay. So I drove all these hours, drove through the snow. It should have been a larger venue. It should have been a larger group of people. Ended up speaking to only a few, but I made 1 sale. So kind of paid for the gas and took care of business. Great. Here's the rest of the story. That one person that purchased, I didn't connect all the dots right away. And it wasn't until a couple years later where the person that was there that night actually told me, reminded me what had happened. And then I reflected on it and recognized that one person, that one couple, ended up buying not just that program, but all that I had to offer over the next several years. And in buying all I had to offer over the next several years, also then invited their family members. So they have 3 adult children. All 3 of them came on. Their significant others came on into the program. And they worked with me for over a decade. And truth be told, to this day, continue to work with me in the Maverick universe. When you think about one client and you think about the longevity of that client and what that client will bring into your business, that makes it worthwhile in and of itself. But when you start connecting the dots and you recognize not just that client, but the ripple effect of what that client brings into the table, they then also became one of my top testimonials. And that those clients have then attracted and influenced just dozens more to jump into the Maverick universe. And recognizing all those connections, just because, and all traces back to one moment in time, one moment, one thought where I said, no, I committed to showing up. I'm going to show up. Some of you are out there and you question and you scratch your head and you consider, well, that's not my life. I don't have those opportunities. I got to tell you, you got to consider. I've got a 3-day boot camp, Maverick Success Live, where this couple went to. That was one of the things that they tapped into during this process. And they came to the Maverick Success Live, and since that time, they've been to well over 35 of these Maverick Success Lives events and engaging with it and learning from it and being a part of it. It's a transformational 3-day event. I absolutely encourage you to be there. The real key is that they dared to show up, and in that showing up, they created huge success. How they ended up showing up was that I showed up, and I showed up to show them the path. And one of the things that they reflected on over the years is that I was able to walk the talk. And not only were they able to model that, they also looked at that as a sign of integrity, of value, of principles that they could tap into. All this happens just because you decide to show up. So, with all you're doing, show up, be a part of it, be a part of everything that happens in your life, be completely present, completely focused, and just show up. Watch the success that transfers, shows up, manifests into your world because you decide to show up. You decide to be there. It's what I've done over the years, and what I would encourage, man, all of you to be a part of every single day. I'm here and I'm showing up. One of the things that I want to share with you is the Maverick Success Live. Go hang out, go spend some time there. It is one of the key ways in which I engage with people. So I encourage you to be a part of that. One of the things that why I mention it is because people miss the boat. People miss the boat. They think they're doing something that'll change their future trajectory, or at least they say that's what they think. Only the reality is that they fight what really is working, and they show up to what's easy. They fight what really could be the difference in their life, and then they show up to things that they know may or may not change anything, but it's the easy road. I'm going to challenge you today. I'm going to challenge you in this holiday weekend to consider not just showing up. Let's go the next distance. Let's go the next step. Show up when it's not easy to show up. Like this holiday weekend and spending time out for my family and friends to be here with you on a Sunday just to say hi. Not everything. Oh man, I will love to do these videos. I love being connected with all of you. I love being a part of your community. I love being a part of your family, and I want you to be a part of mine. But it's not about these videos on a Sunday. And yet, just show up. Watch what happens. Dare, and I challenge you, dare to step into it. Dare to show up when it's the most difficult. Dare to show up when it really, oh man, do I really want to do that? Yes. I hear and I talk about coming live because I'm a firm believer in live, meaning be in person, be belly button to belly button. Old term for those of you that have never heard that before, belly button to belly button. Be live with people in person. The energy, the magnitude of connection that happens when you are, it will transform you. So I encourage people to come to my Maverick Success Live because it's the moment where we spend the most amount of time hanging out together in this early stages of a relationship to really connect, to get to know one another. There's usually about 50 people in the room, so we get that time and energy to connect on a real level. I challenge you to just show up. Because when you do, your life transforms. And show up not when it's easy, but when it's difficult. I have so many people that say, yeah, I love what you're talking about. I want to be there. I'm going to be there, Paul. I'm going to be there. And then they never quite pull the trigger. They never quite do it. Why? There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. It's either, too little time, too little money, too little resources. I can't make it happen now, but later, truly later, it'll happen. I've got some people that have have said for now it's been probably 4 years that they're going to come and engage at a high level, that they want to be a part of my mastermind, and yet every single time we schedule a call, they don't show up. I don't know why. Why do they bother? Just admit to yourself, I'm never going to do anything. I'm not going to follow through, and I'm not going to create the millions that I feel inside of me that I could. I'm not going to create the life that I feel inside of me I could. Just stop. Stop saying it. Or, man, step up. Step up. And it's what I've had to do in multiple times, multiple ways in my life. Step up to the point where you say yes, where you say, here's the line in the sand. I am going to absolutely, from this point forward, show up even when it's difficult. I'm going to show up even when it's tough. I'm going to show up no matter what, because I know there's more inside of me. I know there's more inside of me to give. I know there's more inside of me to create. I know there's more inside of me to build that abundance. I challenge you. Just show up. Go the distance. Only show up not when it's easy. Not just when it's easy, but when it's the most difficult. Pull yourself up. Get moving. Make it happen. Love to see you all at Maverick Success Live. We have one right around the corner. So absolutely show up. Absolutely go and register. Check it out. You have any questions, come find me. Come reach out. DM me. Do whatever you got to do to connect, because we are building this amazing community. There's amazing people inside on the other side of this equation, if you will. Come hang out, come spend time and watch the growth, watch the development, watch the abundance that comes into your life when you do. For all of you, I love the engagement. I love hanging out with you, and I love this platform. So we'll be back every single day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. For all of you, keep showing up. Show up again tomorrow. Show up every day in my feed. Show up every day in this community, and watch what happens in your life, as well as all the life that you will then touch. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care now. Make it a great one. Make it a great holiday weekend. Have fun. And remember, your future is one day away. What are you doing today to make it a great one? Talk to you soon, guys.